Hi and welcome to Gurukul Online Learning Network. My name is Mustakim Abir and I am here to take you through tutorials for the complete beginner for a traditional Indian classic flute or Bansuri. Today we are going to start with introducing Bansuri to you. The history of musical instruments dates back to as far as 67,000 years ago. The oldest object that referred to as a musical instrument by some scholars is a flute. So we can say that this instrument is thousands of years old. The most widely accepted classification of musical instruments is the way they produce sound. Study of musical instruments is as known as organology. There are 5 categories of musical instrument according how they produce sound. First one is idiophones that create sound through vibrating themselves like drums, cajon, ghatam, etc. Second one is membranophones that produce sound by vibrating a membrane. Example, tabla, mridangam. Third one is aerophones. Aerophones are any of a class of musical instruments in which a vibrating mass of air produces the initial sound, like my Bansuri. Fourth one is chordophones that produce sound by vibrating strings like piano, guitar or violin. And electrophones are any of a class of musical instruments in which the initial sound either is produced by electronic means or is conventionally produced and electronically amplified. So what is Bansuri or flute? Bansuri is a wind instrument made from a tube with holes that are stopped by the fingers, held vertically or horizontally, so that the player's breath strikes a narrow edge, in which case it is also called a transverse flute or side-blown flute. The modern orchestral form is a transverse flute, typically made of metal, with an elaborate set of keys that is used in Western countries. But you can see what is in my hand. It is not an orchestral flute, but a traditional Bansuri made of bamboo. A Bansuri is a side-blown flute originating from the Indian subcontinent. It is used in Hindustani classical music, traditional Bengali and folk music. According to the legend, the 3 birthplaces of flutes are Egypt, Greece and India. Of these, the transverse or side-blown flute appeared only in ancient India, while the fippal flutes are found in all 3. An interesting part is that the modern Indian Bansuri has not changed much since the early medieval era. However, a flute of a somewhat different design is evidenced in ancient China called dizi. May not have originated in China but evolved from a more ancient Central Asian flute design. It's however not clear whether there was any connection between the Indian and Chinese varieties. The early medieval Indian Bansuri was however influential. Its size, style, bindings, mounts on ends and playing style in medieval Europe artworks has led scholars to state that the Bansuri migrated from India into the Byzantine Empire by the 10th century and from there on to medieval Europe where it became popular. The Bansuri was generally played as a side instrument with vocal or dance music. It was widely used in folk music of Indian subcontinent. Pandit Pannalal Ghosh was the first to practice it as a classical music instrument rather than folk instrument. Later, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasiya took it to another level and started a new era of Bansuri playing in terms of style and performances. Nowadays, Bansuri is not just played with light or folk music but also played as a solo classical instrument. So we are talking about construction of Bansuri. Bansuri is traditionally made from a single hollow shaft of bamboo with 6 or 7 finger holes. It's still evolving. There are even 8 holes in Venu, a flute from Carnatic region, and you can see that my Bansuri has an extra hole under my thumb for reaching out some extra possibilities. Some modern designs of Bansuri came in ivory, fiberglass and various metals. The basically 6-hole instrument covers 2.5 octaves of music. One end is closed and few centimeters from the closed end is its blowing hole. Longer Bansuris feature deeper tones and lower pitches. The traditional design features no mechanical keys, unlike Western orchestral flute, and the musician can create the notes they want by tapping the various finger holes. A Bansuri is traditionally produced from a special type of bamboo that naturally grows to long length between its nodes or knots. These grow abundantly in Himalayan foothills up to about 11,000 feet with high rainfall. These are particularly found in the northeastern near Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura, even in Bangladesh, Chittagong, and Western Ghats near Kerala, states of India, where numerous bamboo species grow with internodal length greater than 40 centimeters or 16 inches. The harvested bamboo with a desired diameter is cut, dried and treated with natural oils and rinsed to strengthen it. Once ready, the artisans examine the smoothness and straightness and measure the dried hollow tube. They mark the exact position of the holes, then use hot metal rod skewers of different diameters to burn in the holes. Drilling and other methods of hole making are avoided as it is believed they damage the fiber orientation and the splits affects the music quality. The burnt-in holes are finished by sanding, one end plugged and flute ringed at various positions to stabilize its form and shape over time, and the unit tested for its musical performance. The distance of a finger hole from the mouth hole and the diameter of the finger hole controls the note it plays. Adjustments to the diameter of various holes is made by the artisans to achieve purity of the musical notes produced. The wall thickness of the Bansuri, diameters, the tone range and octave tuning. Once all the holes have reached their performance range, the Bansuri is steeped in natural oils, cleaned, dried and decorated or bound with silk or nylon threads. That's all for today. Thank you.